Hey everyone, welcome back to our Traded Black podcast. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Want to look at a few things here today, including a new report from the Senate's Appropriations Committee, and it's stirring up major conversation in both the hemp and cannabis industries, while also giving a surprise nod to psychedelic research. This report, it's tied to a key spending bill. It raises concerns about cannabis product marketing, proposes sweeping hemp changes, and calls for the FDA to step up its involvement in psychedelics research. I keep saying psychedelics, don't sleep on this industry because it is gaining momentum in Washington. So let's dive into it. So let's first begin. Attached to this annual spending bill is a controversial provision that would federally ban hemp products containing any quantifiable amount of THC. But here's the update. Unlike the House version of this legislation, the Senate has delayed implementation for 1 year, a small but critical compromise after bipartisan pushback. The House bill, as you might remember, would essentially ban most hemp-derived cannabinoid products, including CBD, because nearly all contain trace amounts of THC. So the Senate version buys time but doesn't remove the threat. So the report attached to this bill makes two key points on hemp and cannabis. One, marketing concerns. The committee says it's concerned about misleading, unsubstantiated, and false claims by some cannabis and hemp companies, specifically claims that products can treat conditions like COVID-19 or cancer. Fair points. Two is regulatory clarity. The Senate wants science-based rules for hemp, directing the FDA to engage with scientists, public health experts, farmers, and small businesses to set THC and cannabinoid limits. They've also asked the FDA to report back within 60 days on its plan for working with stakeholders and to share state-level best practices, including age restrictions. The Senate report also gives a green light for psychedelics research. It encourages the FDA, Veterans Affairs, the Department of Defense, and the NIH to collaborate on clinical trials for MDMA, psilocybin, ibogaine, and 5-MeO-DMT. The committee specifically requests a formal report on psychedelic research progress within 180 days of the bill's enactment. So this is another signal that psychedelics are moving closer to mainstream medical acceptance, especially for veterans and mental health treatment. And that is a good thing. So beyond regulation, the committee is also focused on hemp as an agricultural commodity. It's urging the USDA to fund genomics and breeding research to improve hemp quality. The Senate wants a national hemp germplasm repository rebuilt after the U.S. lost its genetic bank when hemp cultivation was banned in the 1980s. And it's calling for regionally driven research to help farmers integrate hemp into existing crop and processing systems. So while hemp-derived cannabinoids face more restrictions, the committee clearly sees industrial hemp as a valuable crop for U.S. agriculture. So when you look behind the scenes, this hemp fight has become personal for people like Senator Mitch McConnell, the same man who championed hemp legalization in the 2018 Farm Bill. Sources say McConnell is now pushing to redefine his legacy by cracking down on intoxicating hemp products like Delta-8 THC, which critics argue has turned hemp into a backdoor marijuana market. But not everyone agrees. Senator Jeff Merkley warned the ban could unintentionally impact non-intoxicating products. Senator Rand Paul, he's taken the opposite approach, filing a new version of his Hemp Act to raise the THC threshold in hemp and protect the industry. He wants it raised from 0.3% THC to now 1%. So industry stakeholders are warning that an outright ban would devastate hemp businesses, which we've said many, many times. We've also included the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America. Yes, the alcohol lobby is even urging Congress to dial back. They support banning synthetic THC, but they want naturally derived cannabinoids regulated at the state level and not banned federally. That's good. They argue pushing the industry back into the shadows would create chaos and undermine state regulatory systems. Meanwhile, hemp advocates warn this could wipe out thousands of businesses and hurt farmers who have pivoted to hemp after 2018. So what happens next and where does this go? The Senate's one-year delay signals lawmakers aren't ready to pull the trigger on a total ban. The FDA is now under pressure to craft science-based regulations instead of letting Congress dictate policy. And here's another one. Psychedelics, that's where we could see the fastest movement. Clinical trials are expanding and bipartisan support is building for research. The hemp industry still faces huge uncertainty, but the next year could be critical for shaping the rules that will define this market really for decades. But keep your eye on the psychedelic industry. This is getting real support from Washington, D.C. And really, here's the bottom line. The Senate is taking a tougher stance on misleading cannabis marketing, pushing for stricter hemp regulations. At the same time, they signal that psychedelics research is ready for prime time. This is a major moment for both cannabis and hemp industries, and the clock is ticking for regulators to get it right this time. One thing's for sure, this 1 year timeline kind of gives you the feeling that actual reform is going to take place. And with that, will we get a proper regulation for both industries? 365 days seems like a long time, but it's not. And both industries could look a whole lot different, including, as I said, the psychedelic space, as it's ready for the prime time. With that, what's your thoughts? Do you like the 1 year timeline? What needs to change? Let us know. Leave your comments below. We'd love to get your feedback. As usual, like I always say, if you like this video, make sure to share it with your network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and smash on that bell for all notifications. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day. And like I always say, stay open-minded, stay connected, and I'll see you next time on our latest Traded Black. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time.